J. Frederick Smith here, Continental Realty of Jax, and we are visiting 2524 Holmes Street. And we've just arrived, and I thought I would just give you a quick view of the street that the house sits on, so you have kind of an idea of what your neighbors look like and what the neighborhood looks like. It's a residential street, off the beaten path. Not a lot of traffic here. That's good. A quiet neighborhood is nice. I sure appreciate that. The property itself, the front has a nice little piece of grass and some shrubbery. This is kind of a western style. I don't really see a lot of that here in Jacksonville, where you've got the bark dust and the little bushes in there. I mean, I kind of see it when I'm looking at commercial buildings, office buildings, but not really so much on yards here in Florida. That's not to say it's a problem. I just find it interesting that they decided to style their landscaping in this particular way. Now, I can't make it through this gate. I can see right away that there's trash cans blocking it. So we're just going to go ahead and go the other direction. Before I do, though, I wanted you to look here at the roof line. The trim for the roof looks like it has some mold or moss growing on it. That means the roof is not new, but it doesn't look bad. There is debris from this big tree that's hanging down. There is quite a lot of debris actually up there, but that's a big tree and it's literally hanging right over the roof. I'm not sure I like that. I'm not saying it's a deal breaker by any stretch as far as my mind goes, but I kind of feel like, I'd rather that tree not be hanging over my roof. In Florida especially, right? So what we've got is a cinder block walled house. The block walls are fairly popular. The shrubbery is well away from the wall. Thank you very much. Windows are single pane aluminum windows, although they've been painted. They are single pane aluminum windows, which means that they don't insulate quite as well as a double pane window would. Nothing you can do about that but change the windows out. Looking at the soffits, they look okay. Looks like there was some rot at one point in time when they did the roof and they replaced it with OSB. Really, that should have been plywood up there, but it looks like they've done a lot of OSB. You see that here too, the painted versus the unpainted. It's the same thing. Problem is, when this gets wet, it goes bad really, really fast. Really should not be used for roofing. And you've definitely got that on the corner here. So that just basically means that, this really should be painted and maybe some gutters put on to save your soffits here from further damage. We've got a little chain link fence for the back area. The backyard is nice and big. Walking around the house, continuing around the house, we've got a little wooden deck that appears to be in good shape. I don't see any rot or anything. That goes to a double sliding doors. Soffits, we're looking at the same thing that we saw in that other corner where they're using OSB. This whole thing looks like they just did this in OSB sheet. I don't know if that makes me happy, because once again, that definitely does go bad. Wood rail is for the deck to the appropriate height. It's high enough that you won't fall off if you happen to bump up against it. There's a little shed outbuilding that's raised up off the ground. 2 steps, by the way, to get to the deck. And there is a back door here as well. But the little outbuilding, T111 siding built out of that. It's locked. There's a ramp. At least it's off the ground. I'm not sure what that's going to look like on the inside. I can't get in. But it's pretty small. I'd say maybe 8 by 12 in size. The roof on it looks good, so probably is okay. The backyard, expansive. Not as big as the last place, but definitely a nice big yard with a fence all the way around the back. Really nice. Kind of wish that this side was not the chain link, that it was also the wooden privacy fence, but hey, you can't have everything. Okay, you have a clothesline. Now somewhere over that direction, there's going to be a place that you can hook this guy. And you can just hang your clothes out to dry when it's a sunny day. There's a lot of tree here though, so I don't know how much sun it would actually get, but the weather is warm enough that it wouldn't necessarily be an issue. You've had a couple of trees cut out. You've got some stumps, and you've got a little fire pit here. They stacked them extra bricks off to the side for you. You've got a lot of big trees though on your property or next to it, and so there's lots of shady area. That's why we don't really have a lot of grass. There's a lot of tree debris on the ground, and that's something that you're going to have to deal with. Hope that's okay. You do have some green space closer to the house, but as the farther back you get, the more shade there is and the less actual green that you're going to have. Now, I'm looking at this, and the front of the house, maybe that's just leaves up there. Okay, it looks like maybe it's just leaves or something else, so I'm not going to worry about it. The back of the house here, where this back door is, it's kind of like an extension, it appears, to the house itself. Been framed in, and it is done with lap siding. It is not the cement block, that's why I know it's not original. Plus, it sticks out. It's just a little space that sticks out. Very curious. So anyway, I can't go around any farther the other way. We'll continue our adventure on the inside of the property here now, and then we'll get to see what the rest of this house looks like. So be watching. Should be just a moment. The next video link should be available for you if it's not already. 2524 Holmes.